Hey guys, it's John Adams, and today I'm gonna be talking about Call of Duty Black Ops 7 and like the future of the franchise, or well, I mean lack thereof a future of the franchise. Cause I think lately it has not been looking good. Like apparently in the like first I seen the trailer, like the reveal trailer with like the Ethan looking guy uh from like the robot guy from Infinite Warfare. And I was like, I mean, okay, that's a little bit cool, but why are they tying it with Infinite Warfare? I don't know, that's a bit weird because Infinite Warfare takes place in its own little universe, I think. And people did say that it's canonical that they tied Modern Warfare and Black Ops, but the thing is, there's two different Spetsnaz in both games. Like, there's Russians in both games, and they're the main villains in both games, kind of. But there's two separate ones. You can't connect them into one because there's two separate Spetsnaz, I think. I don't know. But not talking about that anymore. Like a lot of the cosmetics in like the shop are such a problem now, and it's really bad. They're like extremely heavily pushing on microtransactions. The stories don't make sense, and they even include zombies in the story. And I've been doing like World War II stuff for like ages. I mean, it's a few things. Like even in Black Ops 3, they had like a World War II section, and like when you play, and then there was like Call of Duty World War II, which a lot of some people were like nowadays they're like, oh, it was pretty good, but like the main villain, the kind of even characters that exist, like the main villain is some Nazi guy that appears right at the end of the game near like one mission, and then he runs away from you and you shoot him, and it's just he's a bad villain, like I don't know. And then like Ghosts and Advanced Warfare were like made at the same time during the 360, so they had potential to be good like, a little bit, but they were just garbage to be honest. Both stories sucked. Like this is Advanced Warfare. Like, it didn't go well. Like, no. And but like yeah, not really trying to talk about that too much, but like there was like yeah, Black Ops 3's out and then like it was going to come out this year. Like they spent so much years on Black Ops 6 and then they just release it and then they did really hard on like the reveal trailer and I was like, "Oh, I might actually play this." And then like I just never played it. I never played it at all. Because like I thought Saddam Hussein was going to be in the game. I checked the thing and he's never in the game. Like there was a red herring to like show, and I'm not saying he needs to be in the game for it to succeed. Like I mean, World at War did good, and it had like the characters like didn't do like too much, but like it didn't matter. Like the characters were still great because it was still great. They focused most effort on like the war and portraying it realistically in World at War, and it did really good. And it's the only good World War II game out of theirs. It feels like I mean not that I mean some people like the older ones and they're good, they're good. But World at War is literally the best one, honestly. And then they made World War II and then Vanguard, where they don't even call them Nazis. And then in Black Ops 3, they removed the Nazi symbols entirely. And then people may say, well, it's offensive, but like, well, people need to learn their history. You should have it in the game. They were bad people. Like, you should have the symbol in the game. Or if people are offended by it, have it be a toggleable thing, okay? So if people that don't want to see it don't want to see it, have it go they can go to their menu and they can toggle it off, okay? Or say if they don't like dismemberment in the game, that should be toggleable. It should not be removed. It should not be something that's removed entirely. And they're like, we're not putting it in our game. You should put it in the game. Like what? Like shotguns dismember people. That's what they do. They like what? Like I don't understand that or whatever. Yeah, but like again, I'm talking about. I'm going really off topic, but I feel like how the franchise could get. Well, no, no. Okay. First, like Alex Mason, like or no, David Mason's voice actor, like Rich McDonald, he's not returning. I don't think they even contacted him. I'm assuming. I don't know, but like at first I thought he was like young Menendez when I seen like the reveal trailer, and I was like, what? But apparently no. He's played by some other guy, which I'm assuming he's gonna do like an all right job maybe in the game, but like it would have made more sense to continue like if they're trying to push so hard on this is this is a sequel to Black Ops 2. Why is why is he not returning to voice act? Like what? Like it would have made sense for his OG voice actor to come back. Like it gets confusing when you have this character that is voiced by somebody and then they recast him or like say in like a movie or like a game and it's annoying. I would rather follow somebody who re-voice acts their character all the time instead of somebody who it gets the new person to. I mean, if they have to have a new person, it's not that big of a deal. I'm all right with it. But like David himself, uh, was a younger character that we were gonna follow, and we're like, all right, well, I wonder what he's gonna do in the new game, but like I don't really know. And there's the ISI leader in like he's like a Pakistani leader in like Black Ops 2, but I don't think they care enough to even bring him back because like people said that he maybe died, but I don't think he did. He probably just escaped. He could be like a side villain, but again, I'm not like a side villain. I mean, he realistically could be, but I don't think they're gonna add him. And like he's just a side villain anyways. He's not even important. And yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff with it though. Like I mean, the reveal trailer looked all right, but yeah. But I feel like what Call of Duty needs to do is kind of go back to like not their like roots, but like go back, not go back to like World War II. If they did other conflicts that are not about price soap or any of these characters, I mean, I would really enjoy that because we don't need to talk about these characters anymore. We can just have a random nameless soldier that's like or like militiamen within with like a certain like militia. Like we could have a game take place in like the Troubles, maybe Call of Duty the Troubles. I don't know, it's not really like an exact war, but there was still strife going on and like attacks and stuff. And then we could have Lebanese Civil War, uh, Call of Duty, or we could have the Bosnian War Call of Duty. All three of these would be good options. Those would be really cool. Like we could have like a Lebanese like Civil War game where you could play as like you know, and then have different like faction like beats for like when you start up the multiplayer. For each of the factions. So like and just like bring it back to like it being like cool, and stuff like that. And then they could really do some stuff with it if they but I don't think they're going to be honest. They have a really convoluted story with Black Ops 3 and stuff like that, and it just got really weird. And then with Black Ops 4, literally no campaign, and they've been like I feel like they've been just suffering like for ages. And then like 2019, a lot of people liked it, which is great, but right after that they went to Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3 with like and then they had like some bomb like some woman who got like a bomb strapped on her and then they blew up the plane, which was kind of cool, but like again that's not as controversial as No Russian. And I'm thinking like if they want to top No Russian, they could have a mission they could have a mission in like say like the Troubles one where you play as like you could they could have like a mission where you play as this like Protestant guy named Michael Stone, like that guy, and it like I mean I don't know, that would be a bit too insensitive I find though, because he like attacked people with a pistol and then like grenades and stuff. So I don't know if they should really do that, but I mean that would I'm not saying put them on the map again. I mean I'm not saying they should do that. That would be really a dumb idea actually, but I'm not saying they should. But if they wanted to, they could do that. I'm not saying they should. They would probably get sued. That would be really bad. That'd be worse than them using like Fidel Castro or anything like that. He's actually a really bad guy, like Michael Stone. But like, if they wanted to make that a mission, I'm saying not that they should. No, like I mean, they should make a different war. They could do that. Not saying they should though. That's like I don't know. I don't think there's a lot of like red tape around. I don't think they should do that actually. No, that would be bad. Okay, now I'm thinking about it. No, I'm just thinking, oh, maybe that might be like no Russian, but like but that would just be even worse. I don't know if they should really do that because he just ran into the graveyard like they do like Michael Stone or whatever. He was like a Protestant guy and there was no like guards there to protect anybody, so he could like shoot them and stuff. But like yeah, but I feel like that would just highlight how evil he is as a person, in the game and something, and would just prove this stuff. And yeah, but they could do something like that, and then we could have like you play as like the Serbians or like the Croatians and stuff like that for like that game, or you play as like the Phalangists, like the Lebanese Christian militia, or like you play as like is Israel, or you could play as like the Palestine Liberation Army or stuff like that. That would be really cool, you know. And they could highlight a lot of the crimes done by certain groups and stuff like that. Maybe if they wanted to, maybe in like the Lebanese Civil War, maybe talk about that one massacre that happened that the Christians did, I think, or something. Like, yeah. But like yeah, but there could be like they could have like interesting moments in them, and not just focus on that. Like they could have interesting factions for each. Like you could have like the Syrian army, and they just and other like factions. There's like a lot, and other militias in like the Lebanese civil war. And there was also like other like foreigners who came into like Bosnia during the war, like some like 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 for from different sides, like Russians and stuff like that, and other stuff. You can have some pretty crazy stuff with that, But like I'm just saying, like if they pivoted towards that, people would really like that. I like, um, or like even just like nuanced, like weird conflicts, like I don't know, just the Syrian civil war as well, or like any of like the wars in Africa, like civil wars and stuff like that. Any of that stuff would be very interesting, I find. But like going any like and I'm not saying, and even with like I'd like a World War I Call of Duty, but it would need to be done properly with like multiple different factions, like all the ones that have were in like, and also even the minor factions, like the smaller ones. I want to see. I don't want to see all of that. As long as I can get the main factions in the game, I would really like a Call of Duty World War I. But like I like they would do something weird with the guns, like really weird, and have like a machine gun that's like a World War II gun in the game, and be like, see, this is from World War I. Even though it's not. Like a World War I Call of Duty would be good. They would just like try to put microtransactions in it somehow, even though they don't belong. I just feel like being historically accurate and having like unique uniforms and like weird militia uniforms, and like different ones for each of like the factions that look really cool would be awesome. Like or like you go play as like the Panthers or like for like the different units in like the military or like not saying they need to have controversial stuff in the game for it to even be good. Like, I think they could have like a mission where like you break into like Israel, like in Israel like headquarters, and then Benjamin Netanyahu's there, and then he's like, and then you just shoot him or something. I don't know. It's just, but like instead of it being like a body double or whatever, like a body double, it could just be the real guy, and you just killed him. I don't know. Maybe not saying they need to do controversial stuff for it to be good. I mean, just have it like mainly based with like warfare and like ground-based warfare and stuff and other stuff. They can really do a lot of stuff with, especially the games like making what I said into games. Like they would sell. I would buy it. Or like the Korean War, but like I don't think they have the nuts to like the balls to do that. But I would buy it. Anybody would. Everybody would buy that. So like we've got like either like I would love like really World War I. I really like it. So I like a World War I game. The like the Troubles, like Call of Duty the Troubles, or so Call of Duty World War I, or Call of Duty the Troubles, uh Call of Duty Syrian Civil War, or Call of Duty Lebanese Civil War, or any like African like civil wars or stuff like that, or like other like little conflicts, like maybe a Russian Civil War Call of Duty game, with like the different factions. But they need more to justify making it, But they could really like do good with that. But like I don't think they do good with that now. They try to put some weird stuff in it, and I don't want that. Like especially zombies within the storyline. Zombies should not be in the storyline. I think that is bad. Like this should not be in the storyline. Like I don't want to see zombies when I can literally go play the zombies mode. It makes zombies more obsolete than it is. Like in Black Ops 3 and like your DNI or whatever, you're like, oh, I see the zombies, and it's like, it's no, it's a DNI nightmare. Why is she seeing zombies then? Bruh, just like play zombies mode. And then on top of that, they have a literal copy pasted campaign that's literally just a lazy zombies mode. A lazy zombies campaign with nothing. And it's worse. Like the characters don't even talk in it. Like it's garbage. Like in here I thought it was good and I went to go check it out and I'm like, ugh, it's actually bad. So stop shoehorning World War II and zombies in all the games. Please stop. Like not that Activision or any of them are gonna listen, but no, they should not. And same with the weird advanced movement stuff with advanced warfare and that. People also hated that as well. I mean, all three of those were just dumb. I mean, I found the game semi alright with some of the stuff, but like still was not good. Like they need to stop pushing this stuff. And like with World War II, they added less. Like every World War II game they make, they add less. Like Vanguard had like 3 campaign missions, and like World at War had 2 separate factions. We had 4 factions in that game. Like if they made like a sequel and had like all three theaters of the war, like we had the theater like with the Japanese versus the Americans, the Russians versus the Germans, and then we have like a third campaign where it's like the Italians versus like the British or something, and the other allied forces. That would be awesome. And like Canadians and stuff like that. And we have a bunch of stuff there. That would be awesome. We have like 3 different campaigns, and also even add like the minor axis and minor allies, there as well. So we got more factions to look at and cool stuff. Like that would be, I would really enjoy that. Like, and everybody would. Like the more stuff you have, the more cool it is. The more cool uniforms you got and like different. units, and planes and stuff. If Call of Duty put vehicles back into the games, we could like be driving planes and everything like that. I don't think so, though. I don't think they're gonna do that. They're banking too hard off of Black Ops and Modern Warfare, and they're doing these weird reboots that like of already existing problems in their game. Like they said, and I think they're gonna do like a reboot of the first Ghost. Ghost was already horrible. Like, what are you gonna do? Make it worse? Like, bro, or like an Advanced Warfare sequel. Let's hope we actually get a good villain if they're making a sequel to Advanced Warfare. But I don't want to see that come to fruition. Just make a grounded war game with portraying all the factions as evil like they are, and not every single one. I mean, it's a gray area for some, but for the most, I want an interesting, gripping story, which I don't think we're ever going to get anymore. I'm assuming they're just too deep in the microtransactions and shoving zombies inside of storylines in World War II wherever they can. Like, if you're going to at least show World War II for the 500th time, make it matter. I want to see more stuff, not less. Like Brit. But that's all I want to say. Like Call of Duty is just always with their yearly releases, and it's so mind-boggling how bad they've been for the past years. Like Call of Duty, like it started off with like being realistic with the military shooters and stuff. And then we got our golden age with like Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, and then we had World at War, uh, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2. Both those series great games, literally the best era of the franchise. Right after that, we get Advanced Warfare, Ghosts, Call of Duty World War 2, and it's stupid. And it's like, and Black Ops 3 story was so convoluted, like the campaign made no sense. Like nothing ever important, like all the important stuff that did happen apparently didn't matter. Like the robots and stuff are still real, like real in like the lore or something. They're real or in the story, but everything else isn't real. And it's just so weird. Like everything and like your DNI and stuff. Like so you're actually playing as Taylor throughout the game, I think, like that guy. And then you shoot yourself at the end of the game, and they bring back like Nova 6 again in that game, and then Nova 6 exists again in Advanced Warfare. Like there's like two biological weapon things that happen, and they're heavily banging off of Nova 6 as well. Like there's just a lot of like plot points that make no sense and are just stupid. And then Corvus is like some rogue AI, but like I mean, and when you look at it, some of the stuff in the story is like true, but again, a lot of the stuff just makes no sense. Like, and the Call of Duty's comics are pretty cool. Like they're pretty awesome, but it's just like it's just weird. Like I don't know, like Black Ops 3 story just was so convoluted. It was weird. Like I know what they were trying to go with. It was kind of cool, but like having zombies just pushed into the game and stuff like that, it was just like what? And also, none of the characters that we do fight are real. They're actually just like they're like comic book characters actually, and they're the real ones, and we're fighting the fake versions of them. And it's just super like convoluted to the point where it makes no sense. And everything in that you have to read is inside of the kind of database thing, which is cool though. There is a database thing where you can learn about the robots and everything, which is cool. I think more games should have bios on enemies and stuff like that, as long as they're interesting. You know, I think like if Halo wanted to add full bios to like their like enemies and stuff and other stuff, I would read it. Like I would read that inside of the game. I pause the game for a sec, go to the bios, and be like, oh, cool. So we got this thing about the Covenant. We got this thing about like this leader, this certain type of like member in the army. And we can read about this cool stuff. That's what I like. I like reading stuff. But yeah, all right. So I'm done on my little rant on Call of Duty for now and how they've been a very stagnant franchise. And like, I guess, and yeah, like and I guess you could just imagine yourself like instead of in like a frozen forest, you could imagine yourself in like a frozen franchise because it's been frozen for a while, I guess. But yeah, but like yeah, like franchise go boom instead of train go boom. But like yeah, it was pretty goofy. But yeah. So yeah, thank you for watching and goodbye.